Welcome to the ultimate Tolkien Tournament. This is Middle-earth Madness.
Forth, Ellingas.
Yes. Welcome back, everyone, to the Chamber of Death.
Hey.
The virtual Chamber of Death. Looks like we got Chucky in his hobbit hole, still cozy
Always.
as ever.
Yeah.
We got Josh in the Chamber
Music
of
room.
Raging Doom.
Yes.
And we have me floating over Middle-earth.
Yes.
Ooh.
So, we are back here to talk a little second round action.
First round is complete.
Yeah,
It was pretty
the
rad.
First round's in the books. We hope you guys have had a chance to hit up all the platforms and get a load of all the shenanigans that went down in the first round, because it was not for the faint of heart. It was
Dude,
crazy. We had a
some
15-2
real
upset.
Ooh.
We had a 16-1 upset.
Ooh.
We had all but one 11-6 upset, and of course, just for good measure,
A 5-12.
such that it aligns a little bit with March Madness. We had a 5-12 upset, 12-5 upset. So yeah, man, it's we're off to the races here, and we're excited to dive into a little round two. So how you guys doing on your end? All good?
Good. Yeah. It's been a good weekend. It's been relatively short. You know how that happens sometimes. But
always.
yeah, went by a little quick. Could use an extra day, but it's all good. I'm excited to jump back into the madness, right? Second round's going to be very interesting this coming week, or this week, I guess. Yeah, lots of interesting fights, so we'll jump into those. How are you, Josh?
Dude, my bracket is busted here in Middle-earth Madness.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
you're
well,
telling me.
right? No, but some really cool battles, some stunning upsets, some battles that lasted a lot longer than I thought it was going to last, that were really interesting. Really, I'm looking forward to these. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, man. I know all three of us actually have a little bit of Sam Gamgee in our blood. We, especially this time of year, we got the gardens going, and I don't have a big enough yard to really do what I want to do. But even just doing a little bit of Sam Gamgee, throwing the old Malorn seed of Galadriel in some dirt and to replace the party tree, that's where my mind's at. And the weather's so damn nice, man. It's like just a good excuse to be outside in the dirt, really.
Yeah.
And you guys check out. I'm throwing you under the bus here, Chucky, but that's my prerogative. Is Chucky grows peppers like a champ, and he makes hot sauce with them.
Oh,
So-
that's not throwing me under the bus. Yeah,
we
that's
will.
fine.
Well,
Dude,
yeah, I'm
That's
just-
called a shameless plug.
shameless plug. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Throw
ambushing
it up
you a little
there.
bit because I'm not sure you're ready to promote or anything today. But
Oh, I'm always ready. Yeah.
This episode of Middle Earth Madness brought to you by D-Lab Hot Sauce.
So awesome. It's delicious. The hots are hot. I even put up a video of devil butter. And, ooh.
ooh, yeah. What happened to that one, by the way? You making more of that?
Yeah, that's an exclusive, and it's pretty expensive to make. So it's like, but it's like a summer one. Usually, I definitely have the peppers going for it. So, because it needs those reapers. But yeah, I will definitely have more. Here we go.
Nice, man. So we're gardening, we're promoting. Nice.
There we go.
We're doing all the things, and but I guess centrally we should talk about where we're at in the bracket and what to expect going forward. We're not going to do too much first round recap. Again, guys, go check out our YouTube. Every fight is clipped. So, they're 2-3 minutes unless there's an epic struggle. It can be 6 minutes, but they're really never longer than that. Go check out the fights. All of our content's up. Check out the website. It links you to all the things you need on all the platforms. So we won't spend too much time today recapping anything except, when we're talking about what's happening going forward, we're going to probably refer back to what's already happened and how they got here. So without further ado, we are in the upper left region here, and that is called, not that it's really matters, but it's called the Beleriand region. So our first matchup, Eanmei defeated Peregrine Took without any trouble, and then Elladan pulled technically an upset against Elendil. So that brings us to the first match, Eanmei against Elladan. What are the chances of a 9-1 in this game, fellas? Or not game, but fight?
I would say slim and none, and Slim jumped out of the boat. It's just not happening.
Yep.
It's
Okay, so maybe the better way, maybe we'll put this in a Twitter poll, but maybe the better way to ask it is
X.
By the way, it's lame that X doesn't let you put a picture with your poll.
Yeah.
So,
Go to the Instagram for our Instagram is beautiful, so go there for the picture.
Totally. Yeah, totally. And we should do polls there. But anyway, let's do a poll that says, what's the most likely 9-1 or 8-1 upset? So if you had to choose one, obviously one region lost its one. We'll get there in a minute. Yeah. But if you had to choose one of the 1-9s, which
how many 1-9s are there? I don't mean
3
to
left, or 1-8s, 1-9s.
It's okay. So there's a few that are similar. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's right. I remember this one. That's intriguing. Sauron Gwahir. Just because, I mean, if there's any kind of creature that might be able to go with Sauron, maybe, because I know Gwahir's ability is really high, obviously.
It's off balance, right?
You got to catch him.
His attack strength isn't so strong, though. I don't know.
This bracket, spoiler alert, it fell apart. So no 1-9 or 1-8 in this one.
Oh, no.
But more on that momentarily.
Yeah, Beleg should be able to handle that.
Yeah. Ooh, what about this one? I know, Chucky, you're picking this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like Azlaghal for sure.
The armor. It's
I have a rooting interest, but I also think his stats line up well. This is a good matchup for Azlaghal. And that's a fun one too, because it's elf versus dwarf, and just again, obviously the bracket goes how the bracket goes, so we obviously have some good versus good and what evil versus evil. We had some commentary on our pages about that, and that's just how it goes. We're having fun with it. But some of them, when they line up in a way that it's like an elf versus a dwarf, where it's there's a little bit of, I don't know, it just makes a little bit. Those are fun, right?
Oh yeah.
But the other ones like Fingolfin versus Boromir are also really fun and intriguing. Because,
totally. I was noticing the comment that you had mentioned earlier before we press record, Chucky, about folks are still kind of getting used to the fact that here at Middle Earth Madness we fight good on good and evil versus evil, right?
Yeah.
And it messes with your head for a minute if you're not used to it. Of course, we're kind of used to it, having been doing this for months. But I understand
we've been
also
talking about this idea for so long, also, which is what we've like probably a lot of other people do, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, but we have these discussions that seem to have gone on for years. So anyway, here we are.
Yeah, so it's just it's something to get used to, folks. Boromir would never fight Fingolfin, and if you see that in an Insta post or somewhere online, what are they doing over there? That's part of the idea here, guys. Is the ultimate champion of all Middle Earth. And let's keep in mind also, these races, men, elves, dwarves, they haven't always gotten along. In fact, most of the time, they have not gotten along. Elves have gone to war with dwarves. Men have gone to war with elves. Men have gone to war with dwarves, right? There's acrimony and all sorts of, Morgoth corrupted every race to some extent. Mm-hmm. So, it's just something we like massaging and messing with here. So don't, my advice would be, don't get too caught up in the fact that, Eanmei would never fight Elladan. He's a half-elven versus a Maiar. Yeah, okay, they wouldn't. Sure, but what would happen if they do?
In this bracket, there was a chance. Now it's been busted, but there was a chance for Legolas versus Gimli.
Yes, there was, which would have been cool, right? But the Witch King took out Gimli. So,
Right.
yeah. Man, so today I was showing my little girl the first Ralph Bakshi version of Lord of the Rings. And guys, you've heard it from me before, but for our viewers out there, the Nazgul and Bakshi are still better than the Peter Jackson Nazgul. You heard it here first. I know it's kind of controversial. They are creepy as hell, and they're fantastic. And dude, the best example is Weathertop. Just like the books, the Nazgul were invisible. Let that sink in for just a minute, because it's not how it is in the Peter Jackson films, right? And we were bothered a little bit by the fact that, Strider, as mighty and fell in battle as he is, could take out or scare away multiple Nazgul with a torch and a sword.
Right.
In Bakshi's version, no one can see the Nazgul. They're waving torches. It's dark. The Nazgul are invisible. They're part of the phantom world. Right? And I think Bakshi nailed that. And until Frodo puts on the ring, then they show up. And it's like, oh, damn. It's this cool moment. And then you're like, whoa, okay. And then you see the Witch King take out 2 swords. And he's like,
come back to Mordor. We will take you.
Yeah.
And then not until he takes off the ring, Strider sees him. Strider accidentally scares away the Witch King by putting fire through him, in his face. And, the Witch King's swatting it away, and he's driven off that way. It makes a lot more sense. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
It was pure accident.
No, I do love they're I don't know how to explain it. I don't know what the verbiage is, but they just seem more wraithy in that version. And obviously even for animation, I'm sorry, it's just not very good, but for, again, use a little bit of imagination, like we were talking about with some of these matchups, and, it works. And for those Nazgul especially, it just works. The way they move around kind of in that is very, so much more, I don't know, it's just so much creepier. I agree with you.
Josh, I know we put you through. We must have put you through that movie, rented at Blockbuster Video back in the day.
Bilbo and them look so weird.
Yeah, the Hobbits look bad. Yeah, but the animation is cool. I mean, it was groundbreaking for its time. I don't know how much time we want to waste with all that, but one more point is that it gives me hope for War of the Rohirrim, right? How you can do certain things with animation that you just can't do with film. So.
Oh no, yeah, I think War of the Rohirrim should be really good. They have a good crew on all of that, from what I understand. So it should be awesome.
Hey guys, it was that movie and Bloodsport. Those were the 2 movies that we had to get at the movie
Bloodsport.
At
Blockbuster. That's right.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
You got the blind Van Damme. Speaking of
all right,
film,
so let's jump into these matchups, hey?
Yeah. All right. So we already said Eowyn against Elladan. We're not looking for the upset there. Anything else you guys got in mind on this one?
Is Elladan a range?
Yeah, he won his last battle mostly with range.
That's the thing.
So,
I don't see. I don't know. I don't really remember Eowyn's armor being too heavy. So obviously his attack is extremely strong. Valor. I always do that. Valor is extremely high. Things like that. If he gets you, you're pretty much toast.
Yeah.
Right? But I don't know. I think that I can't pick Elladan, but I think that it might be close, and we might be on our toes for that one.
I agree. It's it's definitely possible, and maybe even probable, because he's such a balanced character. Elladan is, and someone I think asked, "Where is Elrohir? He's not in the field." No, he's not. And he will be in the future. This isn't the only occurrence. This is just one tournament. Well, the characters will be different next time around. So just throwing that back out there.
Yeah. If the longer the battle goes on, the more of a chance Elladan has, obviously. Yeah. I guess, but I don't think this one's gonna last.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay, well, moving down one to the Witch King against Gilgalad. Perhaps one of the best fights we've got in this next round, guys. Initial thoughts?
It's gonna be intense. This one I see going like 80 rounds, something like that. They're pretty evenly matched.
I know we've kind of pulsed the masses on this one. Was it a Facebook post or what are folks saying out there?
Yeah, there's some interesting discussion going on around just the potential matchup in general. Because again, this is one of those ones that they kind of operated in different times, obviously. And the Witch King was nowhere near his full power during the last alliance, and this is a But did the Nazgul even participate in the last alliance, or they weren't even? No, because obviously they were, the hunters of the one, essentially, ring wraiths, right? So
correct.
Yeah. I think they were at that point. It's hard to say where they were at in their progression. Into wraithhood,
because the 9 rings had been made and given. They just don't show up in any discussions of the last battles of the last alliance. So
sure.
I believe it's an open question, but of course that's what the internet's good at, is correcting us when we're wrong.
Sure.
Yeah, they're out there somewhere, but what did they do, right?
Yeah, but anyways, I went into a rabbit hole there, but there is very interesting discussion. I will say that most hardcore Lord of the Rings fans and people that have read up on the Silmarillion and whatnot are pretty heavily biased toward Gilgalad, just in terms of him being one of those, ancient elves, and just, his power with Aglos as well. There's some cool analysis that people gave about a spear being, enchanted spear being effective against a Nazgul, and I thought that was interesting because it's not a ranged weapon in terms of like a bow, not something that fires projectiles or anything, but you can keep use it to kind of keep that foul Nazgul away from you. So but there also were some people pointing out that the Witch King may be able to win as well, just based on he's actually done more fighting on the page. There's not actually a lot of very specific details about Gilgalad's fighting ability per se. He was obviously in some primary fights, and the one that people pointed to the most was, okay, if he helped in defeating Sauron, then obviously he can take the Witch King. But there was some pushback on that. People were saying, but first of all, the last alliance was chaotic, and how that went down is relatively vague, other than how it ended, which is, and I, in the past, had Gilgalad confused with somebody else who got shot in the eye, but the way Gilgalad went down was Sauron picked him up by the throat and burned him with his hand. And so it kind of sounds, on the page, Gilgalad got kind of wrecked, and I don't know if he even did any damage to Sauron. He helped, obviously.
Yeah.
But what does that mean exactly in terms of it? So, anyways, I digress a little, but there's a lot more blood on the Witch King's sword hands, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Throughout the Angmar campaign and in Gondor and taking Minas Morgul, right? What was it called prior? Before it was
Minas
taken?
Ithil.
Minas Ithil. Yeah, there's a lot of specific, and again, Tolkien isn't necessarily he's not going to describe every battle in that kind of detail,
right?
If you know what I mean. So you have to take some of that with a grain of salt. But anyways, I do kind of in this, I totally give the Witch King a strong shot.
Yeah, I think you got to. I think, and we were looking.
It's a 5-4.
Josh, any thoughts from the gut? Josh is our resident layman when it comes to the lore, but that's good because we got a lot of first timers or folks that are young folks that are just getting into the books or have never read the books. So we want to make this for all, experts, genius mans, and beginners as well. So what say you, Josh?
Well, I was just checking out the stats while you were clicking on them, and so armor really high for Gil-galad here. Also pretty elusive. Now the armor is a lot lower for the Witch King, I guess, obviously, and but the elusiveness is higher. So if Gil-galad can't hit the Witch King, the Witch King will definitely be able to take out Gil-galad. But I don't know. I think this one's going all Gil-galad.
Yeah, I was just waiting for the classic Josh comment about him looking effeminate. And he kind of does.
Definitely.
I'll just say in the way of lore, just a real quick point, like Gil-galad, for being a high king of the Noldor, is sort of a mixed background, right? He's not like the high kings that have come before him, just in the sense that I don't think he was born in Valinor, and he wasn't imbued with the power of the gods the way that Fingon the Valiant, Fingolfin, Feanor, those foregoing kings of the first age. We fast forward to the second age, everyone is kind of downgraded in power a little bit. Hence the fact that Gil-galad's not a 3 seed, a 2 seed like some of these other elves. He's a 4 seed, right? So he is a step down, sort of across the stat table. Now, that being said, he still fell in battle. I mean, fours have obviously a great chance here in this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, very intrigued by that one. I'm going for the Witch King. I think I picked him in our first show to go relatively far. So yeah, and I just kind of want to get more of those evil characters through in there just for fun.
I chose the Witch King as well on our bracket.
But now you're flip flopping.
Oh no, I just think Gil-galad will win. I went for the Witch King.
I see.
Yeah, we're allowed to change our minds because it's the second round now.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and when you go for both, you can always say like, "Hey, I kind of won."
It's on tape. You can point to it because it's on tape. Cut it. So our next fight, actually last two in the Beleriand region. Next one is Fingolfin against Boromir. And quickly recall that Boromir made short work against Eärendil.
Mm-hmm.
Despite Eärendil doing the whole Silmaril thing, Boromir actually did what some characters in this tournament have failed to do, which, when you're up against kind of a good ranged combatant, other characters have also hung back and tried to contend from range. Boromir said, F that, went straight with the sword into the range or into the melee attack and hewed Eärendil down.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's going to try to do the same thing against Fingolfin. Any chance?
This is melee versus melee, huh?
Should be. Yeah, neither one is a great ranged character.
No, there's no chance. I want there to be, but no, there's just not. The most iconic 1v1 in all of Tolkien, Fingolfin was involved in. So I don't know why I didn't pick him to win this whole tournament, to be honest with you. He's such a formidable foe. So
yeah, I've already heard it on TikTok from a lot of folks. Like, how the hell is Fingolfin a 3 seed?
Yeah,
and the question I always ask is, have a look at the whole bracket and tell me which 1 or 2 you're demoting to put him as a 3. Yeah, I agree. He could go toe to toe with most of the 2s. Harder argument for the 1s, but with the 2s, certainly an argument.
I think that there's an argument that he could have been 2 and Gandalf would have been 3.
100%. Saruman as well, probably.
Yeah. Okay. Fine, but not much. You can't. Much more than that, and it's like, and that's mainly just because those wizards are so one-dimensional in terms of they don't really have armor. And it's all about that spell casting, and if the battle conditions don't favor that spell casting, then they're kind of screwed. Yeah. So, I think knowing what we know now after the first round, I think I would agree with some of that, but it's not like I don't think we can move him to a 1. So anyways,
it would be sweet. It would be sweet if Boromir won. It'd be freaking sweet.
It really would.
But
2 rounds, yeah. And like Chucky mentioned, I mean the elves are very well represented in really this whole tournament, but also having won a game and getting to the second round, and all the other races are sort of
up against them,
and even men. So
especially with some of the dragons already being down and Gothmog already being down, our one Balrog.
Yeah, that was stunning.
I don't know, man. In the off season, he needs to work out more and figure out how to improve his armor. But
yeah.
Anyways, yeah, still upsets me. But
so we're looking at a heavy favorite here.
Yeah, I think Fingolfin's got to come through. Another one that could go a little longer than we might expect and make us a little nervous, depending on who you're going for.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it should be good. Let's jump down to the other one.
Yeah, the last one in the Valyrian region is the least likely one, right? Because a battle of 2 upset-minded characters here, with Ugluk pulling the 15-2 against Gandalf, and then Legolas slithering past
wizards.
Say again.
Speaking of the one-dimensional wizards, sorry.
Yeah.
Ugluk got in there and just death blow.
Got it done.
Uh-huh.
And Legolas didn't have much trouble with Bedin either, so I guess that's probably less surprising to folks.
Yeah, I think that one makes sense. Just because of that ranged ability and just his fighting skill in general is super strong. So
yeah,
I think Legolas is gonna handle this one pretty easily. I don't see Ugluk even catching many. He's gonna swing for him, obviously, but I don't think he's gonna.
Yeah, this one could be short.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, Legolas is sneakily balanced. Now he's much more effective with his bow, but he doesn't suck in melee either. Right.
Yeah.
So you could argue Legolas is a line or two underseeded as well, and I'd have really no argument for you if you say Legolas should probably be a 9 seed.
Totally.
Now, any 2 characters in this whole tournament could probably flip lines, and that's not saying much. But maybe he could flip 2 lines and be an 8.
And so Ugluk, Ugluk should probably be a 13 or a 12, maybe even.
Yeah.
Or he just really got that lucky blow against Mithrandir. Again, the odds were pretty astronomical on that one. So
yeah.
But yeah, I've got Legolas, and then what it will be. It would be Legolas versus Fingolfin, and that one could be really interesting.
Battle for the ages.
Yeah. Elf on elf violence, but I will do another show on that round. I'll not jump ahead, but
but real quick, give me you guys' picks on who advances out of this whole region now that we're around further in. We have Witch King or Gil-galad. Do either of these guys get past Eowyn, or is it Eowyn against someone down here?
I really hope so. I don't know why Eowyn is boring to me. I just don't. I know that he helped in that at the end of the Silmarillion there with Tulkas and them, but I just don't remember that much of him really on the page, and
because he really wasn't there. He was mostly being all cool and chummy with Manwë, who was just in his tower. So,
I mean, I know he obviously deservedly the 1 seed, I suppose, but I'm gonna stick with my original and just say the Witch King comes out of this.
Cool. Josh?
Eowyn from day one. I'm 10 toes down all the way. Eowyn is Yukon, and Yukon will win. Eowyn will win.
Boring, but you're probably right.
I had Eowyn winning the whole thing. I'm sticking with that for now, but I don't know. Don't think I'm trying to hedge or whatever, but wouldn't surprise me at all if Fingolfin slithers out of this whole region.
It would be pretty rad
yeah.
He's a pretty awesome character, so it'd be pretty rad to see him come through.
And if Fingolfin ends up meeting up with the Witch King, if the Witch King gets out, then I don't know how the hell that's gonna go.
Right.
Because God, the Witch King Fingolfin can probably take the Witch King. And that's the thing, is just like sports, a lot of it's about matchups. It's like,
it totally is.
It's like I feel more comfortable with certain matchups than others, even if the seeds are a little skewed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, but I guess it's the three favorites there are Fingolfin, Eowyn, and I guess no one's really with me on the Witch King thing, but I suppose you could argue
Tough
Gilgalad
path.
third.
Yeah, a tough path for the Witch King, man. That's all. Nothing against him. I think he's fell, but Gilgalad and then Eowyn.
Wait, you mean to tell me you're not Wraithist?
I'm not, I am not racist. Racist.
Never been a Wraithist. Never will be a Wraithist.
Before. Love it. Love it. Hashtag not racist.
Had the chance to be a Wraithist one time, chose not to be.
Exactly. Got the receipts. Hey, let's change gears real fast before we get to the Mordor region, because I think we are losing Josh on the panel here shortly.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
what I want Josh to do is just give us our picks in all the regions real fast, and then we'll go back and dig a little deeper. So down here in Mordor, Josh.
Sauron, let's see. I have Sauron going all the way. So Sauron is taking this. That battle's not going to last very long. Sauron's going to snag a hold of that bird and cook it. We got a bucket of KFC on our way, boys.
Okay.
For this one, we have Elrond taking out Faramir. L. Ron Hubbard is, our Lord and Savior. So,
and then down here, who does Sauron face? Who wiggles out of this sub-region?
So I never thought Finron was going to get this far.
Dane.
Yeah. So I'm going Dane.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I thought Treebeard was going to take out Dane.
Ooh.
So now I got to go Dane over Finrod because I never had faith in Finrod to begin with.
Ironfoot.
Yeah. Versus Ironfoot versus Pencil Dick. Here we go. Finrod.
Yeah.
Finrod versus Ironfoot.
You can't pull for Galadriel since she slew your Helm Hammerhand pick.
Yep. Can't do that. She's getting burned.
Let's go dragons.
Yep.
Cool. So Sauron against who?
Yeah, let's go Sauron versus Dane. This will be fun. Yeah, because I had Treebeard going versus Sauron.
Okay.
So, yeah, let's go Dane all the way.
An 11 seed all the way, like North Carolina State or whatever.
That's go.
Right. NC State. All right.
I have Encalagon coming out of that region. So I had it from the beginning, and I'm sticking with that.
So the Eriador region, Chucky and I will go a little deeper into this in a second after we lose Josh, but I want to get Josh's picks. So how do you see this one breaking down, Josh? Now, let Mary pull the 16-1 over Gothmog. Beleg took out Aragorn.
Yeah, see, that's the issue. I had Aragorn going all the way. This was my sleeper. This was the son of Gondor, all those things coming home. Yep. Nope. It's gone. So now I got to go for... Let's go Mary. All right.
Oh, God. No way.
Yeah.
Upsets Beleg?
Yeah, there's no way. Beleg's taking a step back.
Huon and Luthien?
I never had faith in Huon either, so Luthien.
I hate this matchup.
Yeah, we'll talk about this in a minute.
Yeah.
So who comes out of the bottom?
I originally had Saruman going all the way against Aragorn here. Let's go Saruman for the win here.
That'd be interesting.
Does Saruman beat either the eagle or the spider?
See, I had to pick this before hearing all the cool stories about the Ungoliant. So I'm going Spider King here.
Yes.
Spider Queen, my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just like I misgendered Gilgalad, I misgendering.
Pretty sure that makes you a Wraithist, dude.
Rapist. Yep.
Cool. So did I hear you correct that you who do you got coming out of this whole thing?
Let's say Saruman for the win all the way out of this thing.
Okay.
But I would like the Ungoliant to win after hearing the cool stories.
Yeah.
So
she's a nasty one.
Let's go.
Nice, dude. And
either one of
final
those.
Region. So up here in the Numenor region, we still have our one alive. That's Feanor.
Yep. I had Glorfindel taking this one the whole way, so I'm still going with that. Glorfindel for the win.
Yeah.
Freaking majestic. Like, what is that? End of what's the 80s movie where they all get detention?
The
What's
Breakfast
that movie?
Club?
Yeah, where they see, at the very end, the cool guy gives the arm fist in the air.
Oh, is that what that picture reminds me of?
Yeah, that's what that is.
Nice.
And then the rock song plays in the background.
Yep.
So I'm going Glorfindel all the way. Feanor over. Actually, I don't have that matchup. But I'm going Feanor over this one. I know your brother likes Asgal.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the beard. Are you going for the braids, Chucky?
Oh, it's that, and I really like dwarves. I really don't like elves, and I especially don't like Feanor. It's just all those things together. And then the beard is pretty cool, and the armor is cool, and the dwarves are fun.
Yeah, the guy's Zach Wild.
Yeah,
I'm about it.
Cool. And then down here in the bottom, man, we have this is a cool one right here. Are you liking Glaurung to chalk his way out of that one?
Yeah, easy.
And then Fingon against Beor.
I'm going Fingon over Beorn. I actually called this matchup here, but Fingon, FTW.
Nice. And then for the whole region, it sounds like your matchup's going to be Glorfindel against who? Glaurung. Okay, Glorfindel, Glaurung, Battle of the G's.
Yes.
And who advances out of this to the Final Four?
So you can't drink milk before that battle, or else, saying their names back and forth gets all yucky. But we are going Glorfindel out of this realm all the way.
Zeus. I like. Very cool, man.
Yeah, I'll be able to.
You may be excused.
I can stick around for a couple more minutes, but yeah, I'll be bolting just a second. I'll bow.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we got that all down.
Thanks, man.
Chucky, let's just stick where we're at then in this region. Might as well. It doesn't matter what order we go in here.
So just go to the top since we already talked about. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, you want to? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, all over Feanor. Again, want it, but also think it can happen because of the armor and just the matchup's bad for Feanor, as we discussed earlier. So don't have much more to say on that.
Cool.
Obviously, I'm not going to be surprised if Feanor wins.
No.
Here, the whole range thing has been working for people. It stops with Glorfindel. Just quit it.
No can.
Yeah, I just don't see. I don't know. I just don't see it happening. I think Glorfindel will get the, whatever you want to call it, the luck of the Valar in terms of the battlefield conditions, and he'll be fine there.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah. Then we'll have Glorfindel versus Azaghal, which Glorfindel will win.
That's a neat matchup.
Yeah, it is. Obviously, if that ends up being Glorfindel Feanor, that will be really cool too. Any of those matchups will be fun. I don't believe, except for Thranduil, he just doesn't deserve to get that far. Based on, I don't know. I mean, it would be cool, but I don't know. I just can't see him making that much noise. So
yeah, this is a neat one lore wise too, because Thranduil being a Lai Quindi green elf, or certainly, not only did he never see the light of the trees, or I don't think any of his ancestors did, or none of his ancestors did. I don't even know if they were ever in Beleriand and participating in any of the wars of the First Age. There was a group of green elves that came up under Denethor and helped, in I think that was Osiriand in the Land of Seven Rivers, and they did participate in the First Age.
The Elven Denethor, you mean?
The Elven Denethor, not the Third Age,
right?
Steward Denethor, right?
Yeah,
the original Denethor that. Later Denethor was named after. He was a hero of the Green Elves, and again, it's this funny sect thing that Tolkien does. They're all Eldar at the end of the day, but what powers are the badass elves of Valinor really imbued with? That's the question, and so that's baked into the stats in all these battles. A guy like Glorfindel, House of the Golden Flower, he was there. He's shining with the light, as you can see in the picture. Of the Valar, he's top notch and top flight. The Dark Elves are more mysterious and certainly less powerful. So, but just for archery alone, you could argue they're unrivaled. Certainly, the Sindar We're the best archers in Middle Earth.
Right.
So that's why Thranduil is still here. Legolas's dad over here. And
Yeah.
that's
Who
why
did
he's
he
still
beat
rocking.
again? Who did he upset as a 12?
Maedhros.
Damn.
Who was a son of Feanor, another Noldorian elf. So
he's going from a 12-5 to a 12-4. So it's not like there's
not a huge stretch. Thranduil.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
that's going to be interesting. Okay, all right.
Thranduil's the type of elf that you used to shove in the towers in Battle for Middle-earth too, huh?
Yeah.
He was in Buffman, actually, and he was a nasty archer. He had better range than just about anyone.
Yeah.
What about down here? So as we move to the bottom of the bracket.
Okay.
This is one I got circled.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
They actually fought in the books.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so this one
was Glaurung's bane. And this, again, this is an accident. You know, we didn't plan this. We actually tried to avoid these matchups if they happen in the stories, but it's not always possible.
No, but it's cool to kind of let some of them happen, to kind of, you know, push back on some of the other ones that seem like it would never happen, you know. So yeah, this is cool. I think Glaurung gets his revenge, if you want to call it that. Unfortunate, because Turin I love as well. And if there's any man in this that could go and make a real run now that Aragorn's dead, it's him.
Yeah.
I think. Maybe Boromir, but yeah. Glaurung, yeah. I think that's going to be a real close one. They're going to go toe to toe and take a lot of flesh wounds, but I think Glaurung comes out of that. I think Fingon the Valiant handles Beorn just fine. I don't know. Not much to say there other than Beorn is so cool, and it would be awesome if he could, you know, get through. He does have his attack is super fierce, obviously, but elves just have a way with their stupid agility and stuff like that to
and the range.
Yeah, he's not going to let a bear scare him. So
yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Here's where I got to tap out.
Hey, bud, love you.
Love you. Take care.
We'll talk soon.
Good seeing you, buddy. Have a good one.
Later.
Yep. Glaurung versus Fingon. Glaurung. So obviously skipping ahead. I'm sticking with my original. Have Glaurung coming out of all of this.
Nice.
And it's going to be
I like it.
Glaurung Glorfindel. So also the same matchup as Josh had, I believe.
Yeah. So once they get to the Elite Eight, the Battle of the G's.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't know if I can really Well, I got Feanor, so that's where I differ with you guys ultimately. But I got Glorfindel here. I got Feanor beating Glorfindel in a sweet matchup that I can't wait for.
Yeah, that might be the highlight of the whole thing.
And down here, ooh, man, I'm tempted to pick Turin. Let's just say this. If Turin can pull this one off, I like him to also beat Fingon.
Okay, yeah, I like that. I don't see why not, and I'd be heavily rooting for him at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But if I had to repick it, I think I'm with you. It's boring, but it's pretty chalky for me. I got Feanor against Glaurung in this region.
Who wins?
Oh, I still got Feanor.
Yeah.
I still got Feanor.
Nice.
Don't feel great about it, but you know it's a 1-2 at the end of the day. You're not supposed to feel great about it, but sticking with Feanor. What about down here, the most wide open region of the Ultimate Tolkien Tournament?
Yeah. So this will be
16-1.
Interesting. I'm mad at Mary, so yeah. Hopefully Beleg just takes his dumbass out easily. But who knows? I mean, he's good with those stupid rocks that he throws and all that. So yeah, go Beleg Strongbow on that. But honestly, I think he'll be fine. Again, it's one of those matchup things like we referred to earlier. The matchup's good for Beleg, I think. I mean, of course, the hobbits have agility, but he'll, you know, do his elven thing, and like they can shoot a squirrel in the rain, I'm sure. So it's whatever.
Yeah,
you got Beleg there.
We mentioned how good the first stage Sindar were as archers, and you know, even in the story, Beleg probably could have lasted a lot longer. He was one of the March Wardens of Doriath, one of the King's Guard of Menegroth, basically. Him and Mablung. By the way, let's make a note. Mablung belongs in the tournament field next year. Cool character.
Maybe.
But Beleg, he was slain by his buddy Turin. If he hadn't have been slain, in that case of mistaken identity where Turin had basically gotten knocked out, and when he comes to, he sees a swarm of orcs, and he doesn't quite know who he's stabbing with, Anglachel, or Gurthang, it's named by then. And he takes that blade and, stabs Beleg, and before he knows what's going on, he's killed his best friend because of the curse of his father, Hurin and Morgoth. Cool scene, but if he hadn't have done that, Beleg could have done some damage and definitely been a much higher seat. So I like Beleg in that one too. What about down here?
Yeah, okay, so this matchup is intriguing or annoying, depending on how you look at it.
That's right.
It's like going to battle with my dog, which I would never do. Even if he had rabies. So it's just man, they were together through all of it. They saved Baron, as far as the matchup goes, man, it's so hard to say. I guess Huon. I think but it's so hard to say what kind of spell work that Luthien could do that could potentially stop. It's going to be really close, and it's so hard to predict. I'm not sure. I'm leaning Huon, but it's a gut feeling, and I don't have much more than that.
Yeah. Obviously, for those who haven't been lucky enough to make it to the Silmarillion yet, these two, Huon is a hound of Valinor who originally served Orome the huntsman, the sort of Orion figure of the Valinor, and then went on to serve two sons of Feanor, Caligorm and Curufin, who were kind of the bullies and the assholes of the Noldor after Feanor passed. And Huon, took one look at Luthien, and it describes it more of, his fate was called upon him. But one way or the other, whether it was fate or choice, he left, he ditched his master, so that's like your dog ditching you and just kind of saying, I'm gonna go live with Luthien now because I feel my fate upon me and I'm gonna serve her. So they journeyed all the way to Angband together, and now they are fighting in the Ultimate Tolkien Tournament. I kind of like Huon. I kind of like the Savage Beast in this one. We don't have really the time to get into a deep statistical dive here.
No,
but guys, go pull up their stats on the website. You can go to the characters page, pull up the stats table, compare them. They can, obviously it's a 4-5, so they're gonna compare favorably overall. But the gaps, everything that Huon is strong at, Luthien's weak at, and vice versa, which makes this impossible to call. Give me Huon.
Yep, I agree.
Who do we got over here?
Ungoliant. I don't know why. Another one that's really, really hard to imagine, exactly how it goes, but that's the fun of it. Dorondor obviously has a good chance. It's going to be agility versus agility here.
Yeah.
A lot, so... but I think Ungoliant does some kind of poison, fell stroke and gets it done.
Love it. Ungoliant's a cool one, man. She really is. She's obviously her and Bombadil are the most speculated about in terms of their origins and their nature, right? She could easily be a Maiad, although very strange if she'd be the only one that took this particular form, right?
Yeah.
She could even be one of the Vala, or the unexplained beings of power out there that aren't Maya or Valar, but existed in the void before the music of the Valar, right? In any case, all we know is what she did. And she could also be on that 2 line. She's one of those other ones.
Yeah.
So give me Ungoliant in that one. I'll be chalk as well. This one, though, I'll go ahead and tell you, I'm taking the upset. I'm taking Húrin to pull the 7-2 in this round. And the reasoning is basically just brute force, kind of like we saw Ugluk doing against Gandalf. Húrin is certainly capable of pulling off the same thing. Battlefield conditions probably have to switch to him to force Gandalf to use melee a little bit more. And Gandalf doesn't suck in melee. I mean, he's got Glamdring. But Saruman does not. So Saruman is not strong in melee.
I see.
That's one thing to look for here. I'm taking Húrin. What do you think?
I like that, and it's you've almost convinced me. I'm going Saruman. I don't know really why. I think that I think of that. I think of his ability to, and I know that this isn't necessarily worked in, but I feel the battlefield conditions will go his way, and I think of that scene where he's like controlling the storm in the Caradhras Pass, right? So yeah, I'm thinking things will favor him, and he'll be able to like keep his distance and use his staff. Obviously, if he's not able to, then yeah, that'll get a little sketchy for him with Húrin coming in strong. So,
but equally, obviously, if he is able to, then throw out everything I said.
It's gonna be very dependent on battlefield conditions here.
Totally.
I think.
Okay,
so,
and so who do we got coming out of this?
Ungoliant. Ungoliant wins that. That's where Saruman goes down.
Ooh. So you got Ungoliant against...
Yeah, Ungoliant against Huan, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, and Ungoliant wins.
I have... So Húrin advancing here, Ungoliant advancing here, Ungoliant in a tight one against Húrin. Maybe I have too much faith in Húrin, but I would not be surprised if we have a 7 out of this region. I almost want to pick it, but I'm going to stick with Ungoliant against Beleg. I think Beleg is able to slay the Beast of Valinor and advance as probably the best archer in this whole bracket, in this whole tournament. I don't feel great about it, obviously. I don't even feel great about Huan beating Luthien. So
No. Luthien could come out of all this.
Totally. But give me Beleg against Ungoliant, and now that Gothmog's gone, give me Ungoliant coming out of this whole region, representing evil in the final four.
One we agree on, finally. Cool.
Nice. All right, moving to our last region, the one that we kind of...
So then for you, it would be Ungoliant versus Feanor?
Beleg.
No, after.
Oh, after. Oh, in the final four. Good call. So I've got Ungoliant against Feanor.
Yeah, I guess we'll leave that there. But
yeah.
Okay, cool. Mine would be Ungoliant versus Glaurung.
Glaurung.
Yeah.
Ooh, Zeus. Yeah, could easily happen. Okay, yeah, so this one region we kind of fast-forwarded through earlier before Josh left, but how do you feel about Sauron against Gwaihir and then Elrond against Faramir?
So I was thinking about this earlier. We were having some of the discussion on, I believe this is one of the ones posted about, but so Sauron's another one of those, and we talked on earlier streams about people who go through like different times of being more or less powerful, I suppose. So, you think of the Last Alliance Sauron with the ring. I'm curious of what Sauron this is, right? Obviously, he's the one seed, and that could be true kind of either way. So
yeah, equally. Let me re-ask your same question, because folks probably out there have wondered this too. Which age Sauron is this?
Right.
And
the general of Morgoth back in
you just described second age Sauron, basically. First age Sauron, he was a little more in the background because his boss Morgoth, one of the Valar, was still alive and kind of leading the charge on everything.
Yeah,
he was more of a not even a necromancer. He was more of just a outright sorcerer, and doing things more
so much.
Which
complicates things. Yeah,
dude, shape shifting and haunting various places with werewolves and leading a pack of hunting werewolves to assassinate, basically like special ops
Yeah.
target mission, special ops target missions against high value targets, right? All kind of cool stuff. But to answer the overall question, this is true of most characters again. Basically, their most fully beefed mode, which I would say is the second age Sauron with the ring. One line, he's up there with the top dogs in this whole field. He's not wielding the Grond because only Morgoth did that, but he's wielding Sauron's mace. He's got the ring. He's ready to rock.
In the book, there's some descriptions of him with a big sword too. I might be wrong about that, and I think even to be honest with you, I think even Rings of Power is trying to clean up some of their stuff, and they've been like very, very slowly recently like releasing some new like ads for the second season. And I saw this one image of like Sauron's, like a very Sauron looking Sauron, not the guy, well,
because they got rid of the guy, right?
Yeah. And at some point in this next season, he's obviously going to like turn fully into what we would expect, like what we're seeing in our art. But anyway, in the image, he had like a flaming sword, and I was like, dang, that actually looks kind of cool.
That's fun.
So who knows? I'm sure there's going to be some nonsense.
Yeah.
But anyhow, in that I have Sauron. I think it could be very interesting with Gwaihir, and I don't know, maybe if that was Thorondor instead, perhaps. But no, I can't. Especially with you answering some of my questions there about Sauron there. I'm taking him. So that sets up one of my favorite eventual.
This is going to be fun.
Well, this one is going to be great, but it sets up my Elrond Sauron fight. Will be phenomenal.
Yes.
And sorry to skip ahead, but I think I'll have Elrond taking down Sauron, and that could be really fun.
That could be really
here,
good.
just to focus in on this match, it's another one of those like Thranduil versus I can't remember the 12 whoever Thranduil is facing
in the first round.
No, on the other side in the second round. Anyway, Thranduil, he has that range, but he's facing someone.
Yeah,
Glorfindel, I believe.
Yeah.
So very similar situation here. Good archer. And Faramir probably has a little bit more balance and more ability in close. I like how both of these guys are like ready for battle with the fist.
Oh, that is kind of weird. Yeah.
But yeah, I have Elrond here. Speaking of balance, right? I mean, he has a fair share of like power, and also really cool how he has the waterfall behind him in this logo. Might be one of my favorites. Although I wish he had to. Gosh, it's escaping me. What's the name of that blade?
Oh, I don't know the name of his blade. That's a good question, but he definitely has Vilya on his finger.
Yeah,
the ring. So he's good to go. I wanted to make. I always pictured Elrond a lot more like bro-ish or dude-ish than he's portrayed in these movies. Hugo Weaving in the Peter Jackson movies was I think a very good Elrond, but kind of an old Elrond as well.
Really? So I'm opposite of you. I actually always had, going back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the stream with the cartoons, I always had in my mind like a little bit more of a like kingly, like elder, like a little bit older, like, and maybe like some gray in that black hair and like with the crown like he had in the cartoon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or a circlet at least, like, and I know he wore some of that in the Jackson films, but I always imagined him a little bit more not ethereal, like, but like a little bit more like magical, I suppose. I even think back to the Civ, the old Civilization 2 mod of the Lord of the Rings mod.
Freaking fantastic.
Where he was like basically like super powerful, represented in that like as like magical from what I remember. And if they attacked Rivendell, they would just get blasted. But anyhow, so I have Elrond there, like I said, and going up against Sauron.
Nice. I have the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's hard not to.
Yeah, it's I'm looking for that one too. I don't see either of these being particularly close.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah.
So
Love the Guahir logo.
Which one?
The Guahir. All these are
Guahir.
cool in this particular.
He's such a cool character.
Yeah.
And he is doomed against Gorthal.
Yeah, speaking of Doom, I want Dane Ironfoot to go as far as he can, but it stops with Thin Rod. So, yeah, Dane Ironfoot is going down here in this round, unfortunately. Nice. But yeah, Finrod is just going to be too powerful for him.
Yep, hard to argue.
And here I have Oncologon. This is going to be a fun one though, and maybe a sleeper. Would not be surprised at all if Galadriel pulls it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Now that I think of it, it's like I can't pick either of our two heroines characters to either Luthien or Galadriel. But don't you feel like one of them's gonna get through?
It would set up. I mean, technically, they could just be based on the way that the bracket is built. They could go head to head in the championship, right?
Oh yeah,
that would be really, really interesting.
That'd
to be
be
honest.
Wild.
And set the first year of this Middle Earth Madness off right with something like that. But anyhow, I have Oncologon is I think. Now that because he was my pick to go up against Gothmog, and now he's like my pick to go all the way. So,
dude, and he was. Let me just take you back to Loredor for a second here on Caligon. We got to wrap, but man, on Caligon, like a flying mountain of a winged dragon from the first stage, the greatest of all the beasts of Utumno, of Morgoth, and he doesn't come out. He doesn't fight until the very last battle. And by then, you actually have all of the Valar finally deciding to do something to help the elves directly. So they're marching over, under Eönwë, their general, to do war against all the beasties of Morgoth, which up until now had just been facing men and elves and dwarves. And basically, like, there's no man, elf, dwarf that can contend with those kind of monsters, right? There's nothing. Or against Balrogs, which are Maiar spirits like your wizards as well. Same class of being, right? And so it just wasn't fair until the War of Wrath, where you have the gods actually coming back to do battle, and by then, Ancalagon, gets wiped out, right? Of course he does, right? Because he's up against it now, and he's got flying ships with elves, enchanted by the gods, and that's how he's slain. But when he's slain, he falls down and shatters Thongorodrim, all three peaks, the volcanic peaks of Morgoth's lair. And so the guy's just an absolute monster. That said, Galadriel's a weird matchup, man, and he's going to have to. We've already seen one dragon go down, Smaug, to an archer.
Yeah. So
Galadriel's got a chance from ranged. I'm not picking it though, and Caligon in that one, and then I got Pencil Dick, man. Now that we're forced to call him that the rest of the tournament,
I know. Right?
I actually love Finrod. He's one of my absolute favorite characters, and
interesting.
I mean, I don't know. If you like pulling for the good guys, he is the best good guy. He's like the flawless Tolkien character.
First stage anyway, right?
First stage anyway, right? Back to Loredor for just one sec. He's the one that goes and first befriends man after mankind awakens. And he's their first envoy going to make friends with the House of Beor and introducing men to the rest of Middle-earth. And then, he goes on to build Nargothrond. He goes on to slay werewolves with his bare hands. He can do that. He can go toe-to-toe against Sauron with spell casting. He's a beast. So, I got him over Dane. Bye-bye, Dane.
Yep, agreed.
So who comes out of this whole region, Chucky?
And Caligon.
And Caligon over Sauron in this one, right?
No, Elrond.
Ooh, Zeus. So you have Elrond taking down Gorthauer.
I do.
Zeus. Okay, I like it. I like it. And on
That's a
Caligari,
5-2 there. I like that.
I do too. I do too, man. And I've got Pencil Dick.
Yeah.
Against Sauron in the final. And I've yeah, I mean
That's funny because it's Thin Rod against Girthau.
You're on it today, dude. You're slipping into Josh's chair there.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, I've got Thin Rod over Girth Hour. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, Middle Earth Madness.
Middle Earth Madness coming at you. All right. Well, hey, I think with that,
we'll do Final Four picks later. Okay, done.
we will do. Yeah, we'll do Final Four. We'll keep we'll keep our powder dry on the Final Four picks a little bit.
Yeah.
And
on those, honestly.
Me too. Yeah. And so I think technically speaking, I changed my mind on a couple picks today, but that's what we're doing. You know,
yeah, I did too, I think. But
we threw out the first round brackets a little bit, and we went to the reformed opinions, basically. So, yeah, we have one more comment here. Fat Pat says, Fortress.
Yeah.
Basically,
you were talking, but I showed it during. Yeah. But he is a flying fortress for sure.
Oh, my bad. You already showed this.
No,
okay.
Yeah, you're all good.
Cool. Anything else before we say sayonara?
No, my dog is looking at me like I need to walk him, so I'm gonna do that. But yeah, I hope all is good over there on your.
Oh my god, it's so nice outside, dude. It's like Colorado weather.
Good.
Patsy, man, if you're still watching, I don't know what the weather's like in Colorado, but when I lived in Colorado, the weather in where I'm at, North Carolina, is like Colorado today. So I'm gonna go out there and do Samwise Gamgee stuff in the garden.
Yeah, same. I have after I deal with this dog. I don't know. He reminds me of it's been windy. It's been weird.
Yeah.
I think there's a storm going across the country, right?
Here too. Yep.
Yeah. Well, stay safe. Keep all your seedlings safe if you can.
Yeah, will do.
Good luck on the Samwise gardening. I have some of that to do too. I have lots of peppers. Too many. Yeah, lots I need to take care of. I'm like looking at some of the ones on my windowsill right now behind my computers. So,
well, they need to survive so you can make hot sauce with them.
Oh yeah, enough of them will anyway. Some will die, but it's just like this tournament.
Oh yeah.
All
right, guys. Well, check us out across all platforms. Go to middleearthmadness.com. That's your best central hub of the wheel. It links to everything else at the bottom of every page. Like we said earlier, catch the fights that you might have missed on our YouTube page. That's probably the best way for it. But select fights are streaming on our website as well.
Yeah. Get all the info and the hub, like you said, from the website. That's the best place to just learn. The best place to watch and catch up is probably YouTube or Twitch. And yeah, I guess probably YouTube is better for catching up, watching all the short videos. Those shortened videos, those are on Twitch too. The ones after the fact, or
I don't think
live.
So. I think they're
YouTube,
the website and YouTube.
Okay, yeah, YouTube best for that, and then Instagram is relatively new, but that and maybe the Facebook are the two best places to actually interact with us, chat with us, ask us questions, things like that. So
yeah,
we're on all of it. So yeah, let us know.
Absolutely. Well,
comment, subscribe, all that stuff.
Do all those things, man. It helps us out. Yeah, and we will see you guys on Monday night, tomorrow night, for more fights.
Yeah, I guess we could have mentioned which
round.
ones of those that we were just picking are tomorrow, but we'll get into that in our intro tomorrow. So.
Yeah, the homepage of the website as well.
Oh, that's right. That'll be updated with the schedule.
Yeah, it's updated with the schedule, so tune in for all or some. We're cutting the whole schedule in half, so it's about an hour a night streaming wise instead of 2, 4 fights instead of 8. So the whole field has been cut in half now.
Yeah. Some of them might. Who knows? Some might go long, but
Yep.
it's been so hard to predict, which is the fun in all of it. So,
But we'll take you back to Lordor as
Yeah.
much as we can. We've been getting good feedback for that on the live stream. So obviously a lot of that is cut out if you're watching just battles over on YouTube, which is fine. We want both. If you're in it for the battles, we'll give you just the battles. That's cool, and that's quick and concise and get in, get out. If you want to live stream, you can watch the live streams after the fact too, the recordings, and there we go pretty deep sometimes between fights on all your lore.
Yep, absolutely. All right, man.
Right, Chucky, thanks for joining today, and for all you guys watching us, thanks for watching. And until the next battle, remember, as Tolkien said, you can only come to the morning through the shadows, and where there is life, there is always hope. You're never out of the fight